No other news agency has this story. A white male basically goes to a black male, Publix parking lot, has his gun showing. Well, here it is.
What? They don't even sell this in there. This is my car, man. What car?
This has been going around the internet. It has gone viral. We have the inside story to the saga. Let's put the family up, full mass here. In a Publix parking lot, the guy you just saw, let's call him Gunslinger, confronted a young black male over his offer of a transaction in Georgia. The young man in the video, 22 years of age, his name is Chandler Dean. Chandler Dean received Apple Mini HomePod speakers for Christmas, which he intended to sell on OfferUp. You're looking at the Christmas Day family, all right? And here's Chandler with his girlfriend, Khadijah, and his other friend, Big Crump. Well, I'll be damned. His friend was already Benjamin Crump. Dean connected with another man, Kajana Red, all right, let's put it up, on OfferUp to sell his gift. This happened on Monday, January 23rd at the Publix supermarket in Lithia Springs, Georgia. There's the message. All he's doing is something legally protected. When he met Mr. Kijana to sell the speaker, a disabled man got out of his vehicle with a gun in his waistband and a cane in his hand to confront Chandler Dean. When he first approached me, when you see the video, I was singing, "Oh, innocent man," he said. I was kind of smiling because I was thinking he was being funny, like quirky with me or something. And I can get that. When you look at the video, when I went back and looked at the video, I said, you know what? I can absolutely see that. He thought, well, this is so extreme. Obviously, this guy's just joking. He's being funny, and maybe he thinks it's funny. It's, he has a gun, so it's hard to laugh right now. But he thought it was just a quirky guy trying to land a joke, okay? Kajana Red, an American optometrist, okay, could not believe what he saw, couldn't believe his eyes or his ears when he arrived to buy the speakers. He said, and I quote, "I saw him confronting Chandler, and I thought, is that who I am supposed to be meeting?" Chandler was allegedly walking away, but I clearly heard a man mumble, "black mother effers." There's more. Chandler Dean did not know the older gentleman, did not know that he had been eyeing him when he arrived. A woman who was suspicious of the older white male's motives decided to start filming. Now, isn't this something? She notices the white male intently noticing the black male. And she says, well, this looks strange. So I'm just going to start recording right now. And this is what she recorded. Bro, I was mad when I saw the video because I've never been treated like that before. It made me cautious, irritable, and anxious. But I'm better today, Chandler Dean said. The man accused Chandler of stealing the speakers. Chandler responded, "Publix doesn't even sell these." Next, he ordered Chandler off his car, to which the recent Georgia State graduate said, "You can see that it's my car." Okay. A representative of Publix said they would respond to Indisputable's request, but would not provide an email to send the video. Now, here's what we offered Publix. We said, hey, send us an email. let us know where to send the video to. We're going to send you the video so you will at least be able to know exactly what happened in case you do not. This is the second story from Douglas County. Indisputable received this week. Douglas County Sheriff Media Specialist TJ Jaglinski said, after reviewing the video, no crime was committed, and no one has filed a report with us about this situation. Put up the sheriff, right? So he's the sheriff of the county. This is Tim Pounds. Now remember, the sheriff is the constitutional officer. He's constitutional authority. He is the chief law enforcement person for the entire county. A Georgia police officer familiar with this matter commented the man likely did in fact commit a crime of simple assault under Georgia law. An attorney connected with Chandler Dean said, and I quote, if he showed the weapon, it could be considered aggravated assault. That's what an attorney said. Here's Georgia's statute on simple assault. Simple assault reads like this. A person commits the offense of simple assault when he or she either A, attempts to commit a violent injury to the person or another, commits an act, places another in reasonable apprehension of immediately receiving a violent injury. That is the Georgia statute. And yes, it does fit based on what we saw. All right, Ben, thoughts here?
Yeah, I mean, like this is one of those things where like this is a teachable moment, right? Because if we look at how old this guy is, we need to understand something. We got to put in context. Sundown towns in the United States of America reached their peak after the first Star Wars movie came out. Okay, so if you like put in your mind that like timeline, if you ever had like your grandparents or your parents tell you like, oh, I remember like the first Star Wars movie coming out and seeing it in theaters, like they were alive when sundown towns reached their peaks. It was the 60s and 70s when the United States was out literally paving over public pools because of the Civil Rights Act and all this stuff said, hey, you can't segregate public schools or public pools anymore. So they literally paved over these public pools. These people were alive then. Like these people were like, I mean, especially this guy, he was probably in his like teens or 20s when that was happening, right? And so if we put this math together, we recognize that none of this is ancient history. There are a lot of people that are alive walking around today where their formative years, the assumptions they built around the world, what they think is appropriate, inappropriate, right? Their suspicions about other people is deeply rooted in this very obvious white supremacy that the United States has had literally since its birth. And so like, I know a lot of people like to say, oh, this was so long ago and all this stuff, but it has a material impact on people's behavior today. If this person did not grow up, right? If this old man with the gun did not grow up in a country with this much white supremacy at the time that he did, would he be running around like, just like literally like staring down like random black folks in a parking lot and like threatening them with guns? Of course not, right? It would be a very different world, right? And so like this is just something that we need to understand, that like the sort of next door crowd that's like spying on their neighbors and like constantly suspicious about everybody, right? Like a lot of the people in the baby boomer generation, they grew up in a generation where this kind of stuff was like very, very normalized and very much like mainstream. Today, it's still present, but it's got a little bit more pretense. It's got a little bit more of a mask on it. But like these people are very much still around. And I think this guy maybe perhaps might have been one of those people.
Yeah, we don't have any additional information on who the person is. I think at this point, he will likely be identified. But as far as law enforcement coming out initially and saying there's no there, there are members of law enforcement who have told us, not so fast. Georgia law has this statute and there is some there. One officer actually told us if he saw this in his jurisdiction, the person would have been arrested for at least simple assault.